Hi everybody, welcome to Glow with Grace. This is a 19-month update for our daughter Oria. She just turned 19 months a couple of days ago as I make this. I feel like there's so much to say this month and I'm just going to try and bust through it so that we're not here for like 3 hours. One new thing that she's really enjoying is going in the swimming pool. She didn't used to really like this. I would go in there with her and she would just want to go to the side all the time. And suddenly, in the last few days, she's just loving the swimming pool. We're going in there usually like every afternoon at the moment, sometime around like 5:30, and it's cold. It's really cold, and she doesn't care. She just doesn't seem to care about cold water, which I think is really interesting. She'll just stay in there like no bother at all. She's not like cold and shivering or anything. She's just totally fine. And so yeah, usually at that time of the evening we can see the moon from the swimming pool. I don't know if I've mentioned before how interested she is in the moon. She's a big fan of the moon. And there's this conversation that we typically have about the moon at this point. And it typically goes, she sees the moon and she's like, moon, moon. And then she says she wants the moon to go in the swimming pool. And I tell her it's like really far away, and she'll be like, the other moon, like she wants to see another one. There's only one Oria around here. And she goes, one. And then she'll also try to give the moon like things to drink. She'll like hold water up and be like, drink, drink, drink. It's pretty sweet. She's just really fascinated by the moon. She always wants to see it, and if she can see it, she wants to constantly be able to see it like every few seconds. So it's really sweet. She's really into jumping on the trampoline as well at the moment. She's been a big fan of the trampoline for quite a few months, but now she's like very skilled at jumping on it, and she just has so much fun on there. It's really sweet. She just laughs and laughs and laughs, and I like it because I feel like she gets kind of braver and braver physically on there, because it's a soft surface and it's a sunken trampoline. It's huge. It's like 12-foot trampoline and it's sunk in the ground. So it's at ground level. If you fall off, you just fall on the ground. You don't fall like 4 foot onto the ground or something. And she's never fallen off it anyway. But she just kind of throws herself around more on there. She's more kind of daring, and I think that's really cool. She loves to. She has this like little wagon. Like it's something. It's meant for her to push around with things in it, but she likes to sit in it and have people push her around in it. And I think I actually have a little clip I can share with you here of her dad pushing her around in it. Here we go. Jade's a minger, that's right. Jade's being a minger. Uh-oh, doggers. Gypsy Jade Baloo. Gypsy.
Baloo. Gypsy Jade Baloo. Beep, 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 beep. Move, 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 move.
That's really sweet. She loves to go round and round the house in that. Another thing that she's been getting her dad to do is she gets him to draw pictures of animals for her. I don't know how this started, but yeah, she'll just get like a piece of paper for him and a pen or whatever, and she'll be like, cat, and he has to draw a cat, and she'll be like, another cat, dog. Like she gets him to draw these things. He's not actually here at the moment. Some of you watching this probably know that he's in the US right now. I was really anxious about how on earth that was going to be, like him going away. She has only not been in his presence for 24 hours, I think, before in her life, and that was when she was just like a few months old, and I just didn't know how on earth this was going to be, him going away now. And I just am so grateful, so relieved. She's been coping amazingly well. which has just been such a huge blessing for me. So that's been amazing. And he should hopefully be back in a few days as I do this. So I really hope that we're going to make it through without her having any big meltdowns about that. She can put her trousers on almost completely by herself now, which is just so sweet because she's really into trousers as well for some reason. And she'll put both legs in and get them like all the way up to her thighs, and then she just like stands up and I help her to get it up the rest of the way. And she's doing this funny thing lately as well, like everything that she puts over her feet, like onto her legs, she wants to do the same thing on her hands, like on her arms. So for example, if she puts socks on or leg warmers on over her feet, then she wants to put them over her hands as well. So she'll have like leg warmers up her arms and socks, and if she puts shoes on her feet, she wants to put shoes on her hands. If she puts trousers on her legs, then she wants to put them on her arms as well. So she'll be walking around in a pair of trousers on her arms, which is pretty funny. She sits really well lately at my hip. Like if I'm carrying her around, she just really got the fact that she's like really heavy and I'm like, oh, carrying her around. So she just has got it really well. She like hangs on to me and with her arms, and then she also just sits in, like kind of pinces herself in at the waist. So that's just been really nice. It's been so much easier to carry her than, you know, when she was a younger baby and she's just completely not aware of the fact that someone's exerting lots of effort to carry her around. She has started to eat more and breastfeed less lately. I would guess that breast milk is now maybe about more like 50% of her intake, something like that, 50 to 60%. And it's been interesting. In one way, it's great, you know, that she's breastfeeding less. It kind of frees me up more. But in another way, my body had to kind of catch up to that, you know. So, as most of you probably realize, breast milk is supplied depending on demand. So, as she started to breastfeed less, my body was still producing at the level of the previous demand. And so it got kind of painful for me, you know, quite a few times. I would be like, Oria, are you gonna have some breast milk? And she would just be like, no. And I'd be like, oh, please have some breast milk, because I don't know how to express. I just never worked that out. I mean, I know most breastfeeding women know how to do that, like to express the milk out by hand or pump or whatever. I just never got into that. So yeah, it was a little while of kind of adjusting to that, and now it's totally fine, you know, it just took a few days. Her sleep pattern is also changing. It's not totally finished changing yet, so at the moment it's not very clear what's happening, but I feel like she's working towards cutting out having a nap in the middle of the day. Yeah, it's all kind of all over the place at the moment. It'll be like one day she won't sleep at all, the next day she'll sleep for 2 hours, the next day she'll sleep for an hour, and then the next day she'll go back to the beginning of the cycle, you know, so it's like no sleep 2 hours, 1 hour, no sleep 2 hours, 1 hour. So it's just interesting, you know, being with that and watching that. You know, she's always just created her own sleep patterns, and this is where she seems to be going now. Oh yeah, it's interesting, she has a ton of teeth now, like top and bottom, from the front all the way to kind of like there, complete. But there hasn't been like any teething stuff lately, so I don't know if maybe they had already all broken the surface previously and they just kind of like totally rose out now or something, I don't know. But she has a lot of teeth. She started to do some little yoga moves by herself recently. So sweet. She always sees her dad and me doing like stretching and yoga moves in the morning these days. I started to be able to do that again. I think she was like 15 or 17 months or something when I started to do some stretching again in the mornings. And now she's trying to do it as well, and it's so sweet, it's so funny. You know, we didn't ask her or prompt her or anything to do any of that. She just sees that we're doing it and she wants to do it. So she'll, you know, she'll do kind of like upward dog. She'll lay down on the floor on her stomach and kind of prop herself up at the front, and then she'll do something like downward dog. She'll be kind of like hanging with her head down, and she'll look up to see if we're looking at what she's doing. It's just really sweet. Oh, something I never remembered to share before. This is just such a funny little thing that she does. she has this belief that everything and anything that's broken in our place is because of our dog Jade. Jade's like not even a year old yet. She's like 10 months old and she's huge. She's a Weimaraner Doberman cross, beautiful, really sweet dog, but she's still a baby, and she tends to, if anything is kind of like ripped, broken, torn up, it probably is Jade, but not everything, you know. It can be absolutely anything, like I don't, like a piece of clothing will be ripped and she'll be like, Jade! Or something falls over in the kitchen and she'll be like, Jade! Like everything and anything that's like broken, torn, ripped, she thinks that Jade did it. A piece of paper ripped up on my desk or something, she'll be like, Jade! She blames Jade for everything. And she says it in Spanish. Sometimes she'll say like, Hecho Jade! Like, Jade did it! And she's very adamant about it, like Jade wrecked everything. Poor Jade, it's pretty funny. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention last month, I think, that she's counting a lot these days, and you know, she can count from 1 to 5 totally easily now. And then there's all these other numbers that she kind of favors, like she's really into 7 and 8 and 12, 13, and she'll, you know, first thing in the morning when she wakes up, she'll just be lying there and counting like the beams on the ceiling of our bedroom, like 11, 12, 13, 8, 5. But she really does understand, like from 1 to 10, she can do like almost all of them, and she knows like the order, which is pretty sweet. What else? I think that might be all of the little things. So there's a lot that I want to say about language again. You know, my degree was in linguistics. I'm really fascinated about language stuff. Her language has just exploded the last month. I mean, she was talking a lot anyway, but this last month, she seriously came out with, I think it was between like 60 and 70 new words in this last month. Like, that's like 2 or more words a day, you know, she was coming out with. And it's just amazing to realize, like, wow, she knows what that is, you know, and I had no idea that she even knew what that was. And she knows the name for it. So a couple of funny little things that she does with language that I wanted to share. She started to call me Mama G, which I just think is just so sweet for so many reasons. Like, you know, in India, the ending G on a word is this kind of sign of respect, like honoring the person, like Baba Ji, Ganga Ji, whatever. And she calls me Mama Ji, and I did not, you know, prompt her to do that at all. It's just something that she came out with. And it came from, she calls me Mama, and at some point she started to call me Mamach. She started to put a ch on the end of it. And then somehow she like extended that and turned it into a G. So it's like Mama G. I just think it's so sweet. And it's also kind of interesting for me because my kind of nickname is Gila, like Angela without the A and the N on the front, Gila. And so it's kind of like Mama G, Mama Gila as well. Just interesting, she came out with that. And then with her dad, she calls him Dada, but she started to call him Dadach and Dadom. Dadom. Kind of interesting. And G. She has this kind of Indian trait. And she also does all those funny mudras with her fingers. I guess she was in India before here. And she's also started to do 3 and 4 word phrases in the last month. So she'll be like, Araya, sit down. Mama, sit down. No, Mama, sit down, which means like, don't sit there, like get up. No, Mama, sit down. Araya, more water, things like that. Yeah, it's really amazing to see the progression of the language. So there is an absolute ton of words to go through here that she came out with in the last month. And a couple that I missed from telling you last month were water and mouse in English. She's saying both of those. Kinka's doing really well, by the way. Our orphan mouse who lives with us now. He's amazing. He's like 4 or 5 times the size when he arrived. And she loves him. Okay, here we go. long word list. I'm going to try and do this quickly as well. So water and mouse were missing from last month. And then she also says in English, mice, Baloo, name of one of our dogs, Gypsy, name of another one of our dogs, Vorti, which is the name of our big white old horse, Nah, which is funny. That's something that Mr. Monarch and I kind of say to each other, like jokingly. Like if the other one says something that's kind of rude, we say like nah to each other, and she started to do it as well. It's really sweet. She says pissa, which is the Icelandic word for urinate. We always have just used that for some reason, so she uses that now as well, and she'll be like, Oria pissa, mama pissa. She says up in English, and she also says up, uppa sometimes, which is kind of like the Spanish version, something like that. She says photo. She loves to look at photos of herself and everyone actually. She says Chim Chom, which is the name of our other cat. She says mole and Mole Sisters, which is one of her books. There's characters called the Mole Sisters. And she says Mottiti for them. Mole Sisters. Oh yeah, just all different number words that she likes to say. In English she likes 2, 4 and 8 especially. And she says tree, and she says Bella, which is the name of one of her dolls. She's actually called Maribella, but she calls her Bella. She says Nana and Nanny, which is really sweet. Mr. Monarch's mum wanted to be called Nanny, and my mum wanted to be called Nana, and she says both of those. And she loves looking at pictures of family. She says paper. Corner, that's one of her favourite new words, because she likes to go into the corner of the bath and she likes to tell me about it. Feather, so sweet. I got to try and get some of this on film. She goes, feather, feather. She just encountered some different feathers in the last month. She says bum, suddenly, I don't know where she got that from. She just suddenly one day said bum and pointed at her bum. She says towel. She has a purple towel that she really loves. She says yellow. Owl. It's one of her favourite animals. She says rainbow. Opossum. Sort of random animal name that she knows. Bobo is one of the characters in a book that she really likes. Pillow. Sit down is like a little phrase that she likes to use. Raya, sit down. Mama, sit down. Bowl. Papaya. She says paya. Maca is the name of a guy in one of her books. And she said, Ma'a, Ma'a. Yummy, for anything yummy. Oopsie, for like when something happens that wasn't the best, maybe. And uh-oh, yeah, I don't think I mentioned that before. She's been saying that for months, for anything that's like, you know, she falls over or something falls down or something, it's uh-oh. Oh yeah, about the colours, there was something else I forgot to mention. So her favourite colour is purple, and she's said purple for quite a while now. But it was the only colour that she seemed to kind of recognise or care about or know the name of. And in this last month, she started to really pay more attention to other colours. And it's really cool because she uses the word purple as like a baseline for describing colours. And she uses it to get us to tell her the names of other things. So, you know, she'll look at something and say, what do I have? She'll be, this is black. She doesn't look at black things usually, but she'll say like, purple, and I'll be like, this is black, and she'll be like, and then it, you know, goes in there somewhere, and at some point she comes out with things again. It's really cool. She loves playing with pegs, you know, like clothing pegs. She'll be like, she'll make you get like tons of pegs off the washing lines for her, and go through all the colours of all of them. This is green, this is blue, and everything is like purple, that's green, purple, that's yellow. So it's cool, she just worked that out, you know, a little way to kind of teach herself colours. Okay, in Spanish, in the last month, she now says vaso, glass, mina, which is her way of saying walking, like camino, like I am walking. She'll say like Raya Mina. I know she says Yaya for herself, I call her Raya. She says Yaya Mina, which means like Oraya's walking. So, chancho is a pig. Media, one of her favourite things, sock, and she's just been like all about socks in the last month. Mino, pepino, cucumber, one of her favorite foods. Pincha, a clip, you know, either like a hair clip or a washing line peg. Oso, bear. Burro, she has a little, it's a donkey. She has a little toy donkey and she loves that. Mono, monkey. She says mitti for like putting in something. So with the swimming pool, when she wants to go in the swimming pool, she'll say like yaya mitti. She wants to go in the water. Yaya mitti agua. She wants to go in the water, you know. And she says salta, jump, because you know she loves going on the trampoline. She says Ilton, which is the name of one of the gardeners, and Panda, who is his helper. She says Sapo, which is frog. There was a frog in the swimming pool one day and she just thought it was the most fascinating thing ever, and she was just going nuts about it all day long. Like, she calls it Sapo, and she would just be like, Sapo, Sapo, and she just kept wanting to go and look at the swimming pool to see if there were more frogs, and every time we go to the swimming pool she thinks that there's a frog in there, you know. She says posa for butterfly, mariposa. Another thing where, you know, she knows both words. And she always used to say batiti for butterfly, and now she's also using posa for mariposa. Echo, as in Echo, Jade! Because she thinks Jade broke everything. Pasa, like, kind of go on, go ahead, like go, move, something like that. She'll say that, like we're going up through a fence or something, and she'll be like, pasa, pasa, like go on. Tome or toma, she says as well, like to drink, like when she's telling the moon to drink water. Pantalon, trousers, she says balon, balon, another one of her favorite things right now, putting trousers on. Plato, plate. Chompa, jumper, sweater. Palo, stick. Subi, like go up, like she'll go onto the sofa and say like Subi, yeah. Baila, dance. Oh, and these two are, I think these are local, I don't know, but they say here chachai for something that's cold and chachao for something that's hot. So she uses those as well, like, you know, if she's touching water and it's cold or something, she'll be like chachai. Okay, that was all the words, and we've already gone over 20 minutes. It's so long, so I'll wrap it up there. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, I just saw another note that she also goes la 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 at the moment. She's starting to kind of make up her own singing thing. La la la. Alright, that's enough. Ciao for now. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.